Welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
And I'm Kathy Zhang.
Okay, so today we'll be bringing you to a topic that we really think is very, very important, and especially at this particular time, which has to do with the current ongoing cancel culture. And we titled this today's show as cancel culture. Can we do that? Can we accomplish that? What is cancel culture and how to cancel culture? So, Kathy, you want to share with us some news about the poll?
Right. So recent poll shows that most of the Americans view cancel culture as a threat to freedom. This is from the Harvard CAPS Harris poll published on March 29th. It shows that 64% of the people saying that there is a growing cancel culture that threatens their freedom, but the other 36% disagreed. This poll also found that 54% said that they were concerned if they expressed their opinions online, they will be banned or fired. And 46% said they won't be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what is the cancel culture, so we won't repeating that. I'm sorry, but because we are Chinese Americans, okay. So we lived in China, so we know the China version of the cancel culture, and we think that they are very tightly related, and there's a lot of things to learn from the past so that we understand today and understand tomorrow, okay? So as we all know, that cancel culture is about, I don't know, the leftist media has a lot of formal definition. In my word, it's very simple. You say something that people don't like, and then they just punish you. That's the cancel culture. And these days, they may, make you, you cannot do business, you lose your job, or you cannot buy things like Apollo cannot buy the cloud service to support their operation, mm-hmm. right?
And the professors may lose their jobs for saying something, people don't like.
Yeah. Folks, remember 4 years ago, right? When Trump was running 4 or 5 years ago, when he was running for president, he was running against something called the political correctness, right? The PC, and he has no regard for the leftist attack. He just say what he want to say, and after that he won the election. And now compared to then time, I would say the political correctness has taken one step further on a slippery slope, which is today's cancel culture. So it used to be if you say something so-called incorrect, quote-unquote incorrect, people verbally attack you, and you feel the pressure from the media or from the pressure from the social media, right? Like that.
From other people.
But today, you lost your job. You lose your job, you lose your business, and
lose your platform.
Yeah, lose your platform. You're deplatformed. And this is the difference today, okay? It has taken one big step forward or downward, however you call it. And says we know that President Trump, his account was canceled on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And Mr. Pillow, his product was deplatformed, was taken off on those those vendors, those retailers. And then even
it's not only just the people who who are so-called celebrities or have higher positions. In Los Angeles, okay, there is a professor. He mm-hmm. he teaches Chinese mm-hmm. to American students,
okay.
And because actually it's just he did nothing wrong. Okay, mm-hmm. really nothing wrong. What he did was when he taught Chinese, there is he just very easily to say some word like nigga, nigga.
Oh,
okay. that. So it's it's not really it means nothing. Mm-hmm. And then because the pronunciation very close to when he said very close to the N word, it was protested by the students. Eventually, he lost his job. He cannot teach the class anymore, just because he said in Chinese, nigga.
It's just a metro. It's a metro, okay. Has nothing to do with the,
no reference.
Negro
yeah, no
whatsoever.
Reference whatsoever. So it just comes to this type of stage. And I would like to share, it's really not only about conservatives. Mm-hmm. It's about liberals as well. Mm-hmm. We can share that later. But really, in the audience, if you aren't, say I'm not conservative, it doesn't matter to me, but no, it's not.
Okay. The reason why we want to talk about this topic is we want to share with the perspective in China, okay? So in China, there's no such a word called cancel culture, but the exact same thing exists, not just exactly the same thing. It's a strengthened version of the cancel culture exists in China, okay? The political correctness in China is called unified thinking. Unified thinking. The party defined what you can think about. The party defined what is correct, what is incorrect. If you don't walk the party line, if you don't think what the party wants you to think about, you will be in trouble, right? You will be in trouble. This is what the situation in China. Remember, I told you these two jokes. Okay, may you allow me to repeat it again? A Soviet Union citizen lost a parrot, right? So he got so panicked. He really panicked. So he have to publish some statement on the newspaper saying that I lost my parrot. Okay, I have to announce that hereby that solemnly the parrot's words does not represent my political opinion. And then the happiest moment of a Soviet Union citizen or a People's Republic of China citizen is not like a Frenchman, right? Have a romantic weekend in Mediterranean seashore, or near a fireplace with a sip of wine, in the cold winter for Englishmen. All right, it's about in the midnight somebody knocked on his door. He opened the door, and the secret police was there, pointing a gun at him. Ivanovich, you are under arrest. At that time, this Soviet Union guy was ecstatic. He was so happy. Sir, comrade, Ivanovich lived next door. That's not joke, okay? That's how dangerous it was. That was how dangerous it is. So as a matter of fact, okay, the cancel culture originated with Marxism, with communism.
Marxism.
Yeah, Marxism. Okay, so basically it works like this: when the communists run into a different opinion to theirs, for our founding father in the same situation, they would engage a debate. They are open to debate, invite a debate, so that we find out the better truth, the more truth. And for the communists, no. Opening up to debate means softness, means compromise. So communist response is to, I need to eliminate you. I need to eliminate you. So in the 共产党宣言, okay, let me see, what's the 共产党宣言?
The communist.
Yeah, in the Communist Manifesto, right? In that short pamphlet, there are 33 times use of elimination. That's the only language they know. Eliminate. So when Lenin, right, the founder of the Soviet Union, communism, when the Lenin was he basically took this cancel culture to the extreme. Okay. He basically just smear people and frame people and
he also dismantled the statute of the Tsar.
Yeah.
Right, and also including the national emblem, things like that. It's really just similar to what happened in the United States, how those statutes were torn down, and in China. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to talk about China, the cancel culture in China, the Cultural Revolution. We can show you the pictures. You can see how similar they are. In the temples, the Buddha, the statues were torn down during 1967 to 1977. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how people, they are just destroying the statues of the Buddha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is how ridiculous it is, right? The similarity that you are seeing here compared to, take a look at Robert Lee's sculpture, right? It's being taken down. And in those communism, whether they're in America or in China, they apply their standard to the people 100, 200, 2,000 years ago. That's how ridiculous it is, right?
Yeah, because they have the same rationale which actually described in George Orwell's novel 1984, which is if you control the past, you control the present. And if you control the present, you control the past.
Yeah.
That's how the communism, authoritarian regime, grab their power and just become dictatorship.
Yeah. So when communists use the defamation and the art of the shame to the extreme, it's not to win over an advantage in the debate of idea, it's to eliminate different ideas. So in China, we don't have a word called cancel culture. We have a word called elimination culture, elimination of culture, the eliminating culture. That's the version in China and in the Soviet Union, and that would be the version in America in the future if we don't check it, if we don't stop it. Okay, so that's the situation that's the nature of the matter. Okay, so when those cancel culture, when those action happens, so you say something so-called politically incorrect, they punish you, right? You got that feedback. It's okay, I got myself into trouble. So you will learn to be a little careful. So next time when you try it again, you got another negative response, then that which teaches you to learn, quote unquote, to learn again. I said too much. As time goes by, either you run into this kind of setback yourself, or you read from the newspaper, from the news media, then you learn that, I need to be more careful. I need to speak less. I cannot speak anymore. Let me just stay safe.
Yeah, because their standards always change too. Like back in the Cultural Revolution in China, Mao instructed the Red Guards to mobilize people to destroy. It's called the Four Oaths. Yeah, this is very famous. If you know Cultural Revolution, you know the Four Oaths. What are the Four Oaths? The ancient customs, ancient culture, ancient habits, and ancient ideas, old ideas. You have to destroy all these four oaths. But the result is devastating. It just resulting people in the same family, they will struggle. Even the same family members will struggle each other.
With each other.
With each other.
They fight each other.
Yeah, the colleagues will fight each other because everyone wants to be politically correct. And then it develops into you will have consequences. You will lose your job. You will lose your school time. And so it's just the result. The result was in the Cultural Revolution. Mao Zedong actually resulted how many people died totally. In the past decades,
6 to 8 million people died in the Cultural Revolution. And so the result, as people learn from their effort and the negative feedback, the consequence, they form a negative feedback. They cycle back, and then they shrink back. And then finally, what they have is this dead silence in the public arena. Nobody dare to say anything. And so this is what happened in China. And this is what would happen in America
also
in the future.
Yeah, it's not only in Chinese Cultural Revolution, right? Or in the nowadays. For some of those celebrities from, for example, in Hong Kong or Taiwan. We know in Taiwan there's a very famous singer, Zhang Huimei, right? And she's really beautiful. She sings very beautifully just because, and she was so welcomed in China. But just because in 2000, she sang the national anthem at the inauguration of the Taiwan's, president. She was banned from entering to China for 4 years. So that's how they do it. And we all know what happened to NBA, right? NBA, just because the head of NBA showed their support towards the Hong Kongers, democratic movement. NBA was banned, and unfortunately, they bowed to such pressure. So, then that's why we really have to know about what's this is really about.
Yeah, so how to deal with that? I want to share my point of view, and I really want to know that how you think about it. Okay, so if Kathy, if you can, just watch the chat room to see how people's response to what I want to say next. Okay, I want to say something very, very down to earth. Okay, first, okay, in this country, the difference between America and China, there are two things different. Okay, the first is we still have First Amendment right. First Amendment right protect our freedom of speech. That's a good part. However, it has its limitation. Okay, remember, First Amendment is part of our Constitution. Our Constitution is to establish the rule of governing, right? It restricts our government, define how government function. Okay, so First Amendment would be limiting government's power to persecute common people because of what they say, right? So in that sense, in this country, we do have that kind of protection. In America, when you say something, you won't go to jail. You may see this is something for granted. But in China, in Soviet Union, no. A secret police can knock on your door at midnight and take you away without you even knowing that, what did I say wrong? But this thing won't happen in this country. We need to treasure that freedom. Basically, the bottom line is there. The bottom line is not that bad. We won't be able to, we won't go to jail because of we say something. That's the first line of protection. The second, as we know, as I just said earlier, First Amendment cannot prevent Twitter, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and so on and so forth, cannot prevent them from kicking people out, sealing off people's account, including President Trump's account, right? Because they are not government. Constitution is applied only to the government, all right? So when those big tech companies, they join hand, they form a common ideology, and they take in this communism, a modernized version of communism, and start to limiting people, starting to deplatform people, start to punish people. First Amendment cannot help us. Constitution cannot help us. Okay, at this time, we have to take things into our own hand. Exactly what I mean is this: just like Mr. Lindell and what President Trump is doing, they gonna start their own platform. Okay, we just free market is here, is at work. When Twitter is mistreating its users, we just start a new Twitter. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is what I emphatically want to say today. When there's this cancel culture happens around us, it's only at its very early stage. Remember, in China, it's called elimination culture. It's called the eliminate culture. It is much, much more severe. You can go to labor camp. You can be killed for saying something against the party. In this country, that won't happen. Okay, it's still a very light version, even though you already feel it's not unbearable, but it's still a very light version of cancel culture. So when they do that, the good people have to let them pay. The good people have to have them pay for the cost of trying to cancel somebody out. How to do that? Very simple. We write email to them. We write letter to them. We make phone call. We call them up. We take the placate. We go to their office and protest in front of it. We share article and shows like this. We add comment. We do as much as we can. We just speak out. Let them feel the pressure. Their cancel culture is not welcome. People don't like them. People speak out. People speak up, and people speak loud. So if we do that, if good people remember doing this, be strong, be vocal, they will feel the pressure. Okay, so they try to cancel somebody out. Oh gosh, I don't know, so much response, so big response, I didn't know that. Next time they do it, they're gonna think twice. Next time they run into big resistance, they create a big trouble for themselves, the third time they're gonna think 3 times. The fourth time they will think 4 times. The fifth time they won't think anymore. They give it up. They don't do it anymore. This is what good people in this country should do.
Yeah, I think, like as we mentioned before, I think the cancel culture is actually an extension of a political correctness, right? But when political correctness was just so popular in our society, I bet a lot of people just don't realize that, right? And the most is that people at the most was just thinking, oh, is that right? But they don't speak out saying, oh, this is political correctness is not correct, right? We shouldn't just follow that or condone that. But a lot of people just don't realize political correctness can extend to cancel culture, and it could result elimination culture. It has just severe consequences. But now, if you realize that, we should stop cancel culture right now. And so that's why, as Wei shared with you, we need to really speak out. If we still just become like a silent majority, thinking, oh, as long as I know it, but it's not. It doesn't work that way, as you can see.
Yeah. Remember that we all think that we are silent majority. Okay, we don't bother, arguing with those senseless people. We just wait for that every 2 years. We just vote, and we change the political. We just change our officials. We think we can win it that way. No, then what happens last November, right? So really, I think now it's time for the common people to take things into their own hand. Of course, not in any violent way and things like that, right? We have to speak up. We have to speak out. We have to speak loud. We have to let them pay, okay? And let them find it's harder to do something bad, okay? And there's way more good people than bad people in this country. That's clearly what I see. But as I shared with a YouTuber last night, yesterday morning, okay? And when I shared my thought with him, he said, "Whoa!" He said, "We conservative, we Christians, we are used to stay quiet. When we don't quite speak out. We should change." And that's indeed what I see. Okay, in my Chinese show, which is 1 hour earlier, I asked my Chinese American listeners, please, and the viewers, please speak out. Write that letter. Don't think it's not useful. Write that letter. Take the time, write that letter, write that email, make that phone call. And for example, the two congressional representatives wrote this letter to. Remember, this is February 11th. Wrote this letter to 12 satellite cable and streaming platform companies. Asked them to take those conservative media off their platform. There's no consequence. They did it. There's no consequence. People should, 100 people, 200 people should go to their office with the placates in front of that and demanding they retract that letter. Okay, even whether they do it or not, it doesn't matter. Being there is the show of strength. Next time they're gonna think twice. Do I want to do this? It seems I'm gonna stir up a lot of trouble. Those are the good trouble for them. Okay, so
so there are some feedbacks.
Okay.
Dan said we must keep our republic fight. Bolshevik and Nazi could have easily been defeated at start.
Exactly.
Yeah, Judy says small government, self-governing. Louis said the CCP and the left use mob mentality to challenge our true freedom. It's time to push back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. They are still very, very in the early stage. They are not strong, and the good people are stronger, much stronger. It's just good people thought the country was fine, so did not act. They don't feel that the good people feel the need to act. But now we need to act, and I think there's two obstacles. First is to overcome the inertia and the laziness. Okay, because writing a letter does take probably half an hour. Okay, that does take time, and we're all busy. We're all busy. We don't take welfare. We don't sleep on that, right? We make a living. We're very busy. We take care of kids. We take care of family. We take care of our job, our business, and so on and so forth. But we have to take that half hour and write that letter in a serious way. And we keep writing, and we tell people around us, keep writing, and keep writing, keep calling. This is the first thing. The second thing is overcome the fear. Overcome the fear. As 75%, I was reading a poll earlier this afternoon, 75% of the conservative people said this. He said, we dare not to share with other people our opinion because we think we may be shamed. We may even lose our job. 75% of conservative. It was 75% of the conservative people do not speak, then 75% of them don't exist, right? In the public arena, they don't exist.
And as I mentioned, actually the liberals also are feeling the pain of it. Last July, actually, after the editor of New York Times was forced to resign after he published a Republican senator's article, right? So actually, over 150 scholars, all those famous people who actually are more leaning towards the liberal side, they wrote an open letter saying that there needs to be an open debate whenever there's a disagreement, because they saw that some of the writers or the professors would lose job because of the cancel culture. Even the liberals, they feel that, some of the liberals, right? So actually, it's not just happening to only a group of people. This cancel culture just gonna spread over, because that's what happened in China with the elimination culture. No one, even the top of the party, will be canceled, will be eliminated. Actually, it was eliminated in China. So it really, relates to everyone.
Yeah, in the history of the Chinese communism, the CCP, people on the right, people on the center, people on the left, they're all eliminated.
Right.
They're all persecuted. They're all eliminated. This is the fact in history. So I want to end today's show with this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. And he said this. You probably heard this before. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and the cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. Okay, so yeah, if the good people don't break the silence, then that's the ultimate tragedy. Bad people have their way.
Yeah, and I saw Dan shared a great news from Arizona, saying Arizona is happening, forensic auditing is now starting. A beautiful revelation will come. And so we all know, it's great news. People are starting to, in different states, are starting to take actions. In Georgia, we know they passed SB 20, right? And it got a lot of pushback from the other side. But if you are from Georgia, if you have friends in Georgia, should encourage them to write to the governors, to the senators and Congress members. And the governor actually was on the side of this bill, amazingly, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just don't give up. We let everybody know it's not good for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Joke of the day?
Joke of the day. It's hard, guys, because they're...
So you want a pardon today?
I may run out of a joke. How about... I still have one here, okay? Because if I don't just talk about communist joke, it's much easier. I got tons of jokes. I won't even run out of them, okay? But since this, I feel obligated to always tell a joke related to the communism, okay? So that's why it's a little hard. Let me tell you this one. See whether you like it, okay? Let's say Reagan and Gorbachev, right? Gorbachev was visiting, U.S. one day, a certain time in the 1980s that he did a visit, right? So, Reagan and Gorbachev and sat down in the White House and have a chat, and both are commenting on what's the difference between these two nations, okay? Soviet Union versus United States. And Reagan said, I cannot help noticing that you Russians, okay, you drink too much. Lot of drunkards in Russia when I visit your country. Gorbachev said, no. I think there are more drunkards in United States, in your capital, than in my country. And Reagan was saying, really? If that's the case, he just opened up a drawer and picked up a pistol and gave it to Gorbachev. He said, Mr. General Secretary, if you see drunkard on the street in America, in my capital, you can just shoot them. Just take them out, just shoot them. And I will grant you an amnesty. Okay, because Reagan was pretty confident, right? Gorbachev, and that night was, driving around, and one block, he see a drunkard, he just, and it took him out. And another block, see another one, took him out. So another block, another drunkard appeared, he just took him out. So next day, the Gorbachev came to the White House and saying that, I took three of them out. Okay, you give me amnesty, right? Because you promised so. And Reagan was quite upset and just okay, really, you run into so many drunkards in Washington D.C. Okay, he just don't know what to say. And then suddenly the Reagan's assistant came over here and just speaking to Reagan and gave him a newspaper. And the newspaper, the headline said, 3 Soviet Union's diplomats were shot death by a mysterious gunman last night. Ha ha ha! Well, this is just okay. Let's say it's just okay joke. All right. We need to have some light spirit in this. Okay, and that's the story of the Soviet Union. All right. Okay. Thank you guys. I think the final takeaway I think for all of us, including me myself, is the good people cannot be silent. Otherwise, it will be the ultimate tragedy. Let's take action into our own hand and do our duty as a free man of the United States of America. Thank you.
Let's do it together.
Yeah, and don't forget to download Safe Chat. And I haven't done any commenting there. I'm sorry. I need to find time to do that. But indeed, that's the platform we'll be building a lot of viewership there, and that's the place where we'll change a lot of public opinion. That's really our
I saw
vision.
the registration actually growing to our channel.
Okay, great. Thank you. You guys are so great. Thank you very much for watching us and staying with us, and you are great.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, great motivation to our work. Take care. Good night. Until 2 days later.
All right. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.